If you want to do better on the race course, the most obvious thing is to go faster. And the easiest way to go faster is to improve your sail trim. Hi, I'm Tom Whidden, president of North Sails. Our main goal at North Sails is to provide you with the fastest sails possible. But we realize that's only half the battle. Sailing fast isn't just a matter of having fast sails. It involves learning how to trim them fast in a wide range of varying conditions. The problem with learning how to trim sails fast for the race course is that every day we go out there, something's different. So we must learn how to shift gears, communicate, work with each other, and make it a total team effort to do well on the race course. We thought that the best way to share what we've learned over a period of years with you is to first go over the principles of sail trim and then bring you on board with us in real race conditions to see how we do it.
Okay, I'm trimming slowly.
Bull's going forward a little.
With me will be 3 experts from North Sails.
Hey, Mike, can you pull on a little boom bang, please?
Our mainsail trimmer is Tom McLaughlin. Tom has worked for North for 21 years. During that time, Tom sailed everything from snipes to 12 meters to maxi boats. He was a 2-time college All-American. He's been an alternate helmsman and a tactician aboard America's Cup and maxi boats.
No, I think the wind speed's probably reading too high, so...
Okay. Gary Weismann is our Genoa trimmer. Gary is the manager of our San Diego loft and has been with North Sails for 15 years. He's a veteran offshore sailor and has been a winning skipper and tactician on Transpacks, the SORC, the Admiral's Cup, and Fastnet races.
As soon the pressure increases on the Spinnaker and you feel a pop, you ease out on the sheet.
Our man on Spinnaker is Hans Fogh. Hans has been in sailmaking for 30 years, and he currently runs our North Sails operation in Toronto, Ontario. Hans has been involved in 6 Olympics, including winning a silver medal in the Flying Dutchman and a bronze medal in the Soling. Hans might be best known for designing and constructing the first laser sails. Successful trim is continuously being responsive to varying conditions and situations. Okay, we're going to start our turn. That's the whole concept behind shifting gears. The key to shifting gears is teamwork and communication and interaction between all the trimmers.
Well, I think it's full, but when we have it a little flatter.
You want me to try to flatten?
It's like we need to flatten the bottom of this main.
Yeah, I was thinking some alcohol
huh?
as soon as we got steadied out.
I'll get that, just a sec.
The best boats are the ones that respond and adapt to these changing conditions. The worst boats are the ones that trim their sails only by the way they look and not the way they feel.
A little too much helm right now.
Okay. I'll just keep the traveler down.
Right. I'm actually feeling a touch overpowered right now.
In the old days, the helmsman would say, "Be quiet so I can concentrate." Now he asks for all the information he can get.
I'll try a little more jib trim. That'll help your helm.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
Sounds good.
How's your helm now, Tom?
Looks like we yanked that Cunningham a little hard.
Definitely let the helm off a little.
In that case, I'll bring the traveler back up and see where you start hurting.
Give it a try.
You should see a boat run by Dennis Conner. Everybody's talking, not useless chatter, but everybody's contributing.
That's our 15-minute gun, right, Gary?
Yeah, it should be.
It's the yellow flag on the staff of the boat.
Okay.
And it's a limit mark.
That's the
limit
mark.
The orange
so you just want to
inflatable.
come in here full speed and just wrap it up through there.
Okay, our 5 minutes, guys.
Gotta be a little careful of barging.
Hey, guys, we're going to jibe.
Here we go.
Yeah, you should probably come out of...
Successful trim requires teamwork, whether you're on a dinghy with 2 people or on a maxi boat with 35.
4 minutes.
4 minutes?
The way I look at it, you don't want to get too far from the starting line here, right?
The bottom line is that part of trimming for speed is working together to communicate and to work as a team to make the boat go as fast as possible. Let's begin with trimming the main. What makes the mainsail unique is that it's flown at all times. Therefore, it must be very flexible and accommodate a wide range of conditions. Because of this, we stretch and twist it into every shape imaginable. Another thing unique about the main is it's attached on 2 of its 3 sides. Along the boom, so we can adjust the outhaul and the overall foot depth, and along the mast, so we can bend the mast to adjust the overall depth of the sail. The mainsail provides directional control and stability for the boat, and more directly affects the rudder angle. Too much rudder angle means too much drag of the rudder. The thing that's hard for the main sheet trimmer is that every crew member on the boat, including the helmsman, gets to see the main at all times. Believe me, with the crew I sail with, everybody's got their own idea on how it should be trimmed. Because the main spends most of its life behind the Genoa, it must be trimmed to the Genoa setup. Therefore, plenty of interaction between the Genoa trimmer and the main sheet trimmer is prudent. So the main sheet trimmer's job is to keep the boat balanced and to keep the boat speed at a consistent high. A good example of this is if you get a puff and you don't see the speed go up, you can be sure the main sheet trimmer hasn't adapted to the new condition. In order to do your job as a main sheet trimmer properly, you've got to know your controls and what they do. The best person I know to demonstrate the mains, controls, and the principles of trimming is our main sheet trimmer, Tom McLaughlin.
We have 7 controls to adjust the angle of the mainsail to the wind and its overall shape. By shape, I mean its depth and the position of that depth, either fore or aft. The main sheet, I think, is the most important control, and it has your biggest effect on speed. It sets the twist in the mainsail, and by tensioning the main sheet, you can close the upper leech or reduce the twist, stalling the top telltales, or by easing the sheet, you can open the top, letting the telltales fly, giving you more forward force and less heeling moment. This is particularly important in strong winds. The traveler swings the entire mainsail like a door. As you get overpowered, it's important to drop the traveler to leeward, giving you a lot more punch and forward force. The backstay flattens the mainsail through mast bend. When I tension this hydraulic backstay, the mast will increase in bend as much as 7 or 8 inches. This flattens the sail a lot, and when I get up to maximum backstay pressure, sometimes I'll have too much bend. I'll get big, ugly-looking wrinkles coming out of the clew going right to the middle of the spar. To restrict the mast bend and keep some power in the sail, I'll tension the running backstay up in the middle of the mast to keep the mast from overbending. Now in fractional rigs, the running backstay really takes the role of the hydraulic backstay to work in harmony with the Genoa, and they have a special check stay which fits in the middle of the mast to prevent overbending, like our running back on this masthead rig. The Cunningham tensions the luff and pulls the draft further forward. You're going to find that with maximum mast bend, the draft appears to be way back by the leech, and pulling on the Cunningham will pull the shape back forward in the sail again. The outhaul controls the depth of the sail in the bottom third. Sailing to windward, you'll tension this pretty good to close the foot shelf, make the sail efficient behind the big Genoa. Off the wind, you can slack it right out to open the foot shelf, giving the mainsail lots of power for off the wind. Once you're sailing on a jib reach or a spinnaker reach and the boom goes off the corner of the boat, right off the edge, you'll use the boom vang to control twist in the main instead of the main sheet. And the main sheet will act, as the traveler did earlier, to swing the whole sail like a barn door and give it its angle of attack to the wind. When we get out on the water, I'll show you how to use these controls in harmony to maximize your performance. The basic question a sail trimmer has to ask is, does the boat need more power, or do you have more power than you can handle? I look at the knot meter to make sure that we're staying at a high speed, a nice constant speed, and at the tiller angle, or the helm that's in the boat. I try to keep about a 3 or 4 degree weather helm so the boat has some lively feel sailing to windward. If we've got too much wind and the rudder angle or tiller angle is 7, 12, or 10 degrees, then I know that it's slowing us down with too much drag in the water. I see the mainsail as really a trim tab on the whole sail plan. And in times of light air when we need more power, I keep the main full. I keep the boom up near the center line of the boat, just like flaps down on an airplane when it needs more lift. And when we're overpowered, as seen by too much weather helm, not accelerating in the puffs on the knot meter, then I make the sail flatter and lower it off the center line of the boat and drop it really into the slot of the jib. To see the mainsail as the trim tab or the flap on the overall sail plan, I visualize a straight line from the headstay back to the trailing edge or the leech of the main. And when we're overpowered, I've got the mainsail flat and way to leeward, flattening the overall sail plan, and when we need the power, I can pull the Traveler up, main sheet on harder, adding more depth, and making the overall sail plan a much deeper foil. Right now we're sailing in about 5 knots of true wind, smooth water, and we'll set the main up to be quite powerful, to generate some weather helm and get us up the track. First thing I do is pull the main sheet on just to see what we're working with. Try to get most of the shake out of the sail.
That feels better on the helm, Tommy.
Right, but we still have a very deep sail, particularly down low. Hans, if you could trim the outhaul, let's tighten it, and flatten the whole lower section of the mainsail. That's better. We've just closed the foot shelf. That'll keep the baggy sail out from the slot, out from the bad air of the jib. I checked the main sheet again. Now, I just want to make the point that this main sheet is your most critical adjustment. Most everything else you do, you'll have to come right back to the main sheet and make sure that this is your fine-tuned device. Now, you're trying to get the sail, the mainsail will luff evenly from top to bottom, just like you are with the Genoa. So I'll lower the Traveler just to give myself a little check and see that bubble in the main. Make sure that it's even from the boom all the way up to the headboard at the top. It looks to be about even now, but we're not going very fast or pointing very high. So now that I've checked sort of my setting on the twist, I'll bring the Traveler back up, centering the boom, putting it right back on center line. How's the boat feel now, Tom?
Real good. Actually, we got a little puff coming back, so maybe halfway between what you did just then and what we had before.
Okay, you're never satisfied, are you?
Sorry about that.
All right, down we go. I can see by the center stripe that we're still pretty deep, getting some backwind there, and we have a lot of depth in the sail in the middle. So we're going to bend the mast a little. That's the way. Now it's flattening out in the midsection.
How's that, Tom?
That's pretty good. When we bend the mast, the midsection of the mast goes a little further away from the leech. And when you put those two edges further apart, you flatten the whole middle. That's pretty good. Hans, if you could pull on a little bit of Cunningham tension, a little luff tension, that'll pull the draft back forward and make the front of the sail a little smoother. Most people trim the Cunningham much too hard. They pull it so the sail looks smooth instead of looking at the cross-sectional shape that you see in the stripes. What I've done so far is just to set the mainsail up to my eye, just visually to make it look pleasing from my past experience. But their acid test is to go back to the knot meter, make sure that we're keeping a constant high speed, and to the helm. Light air, it's tough to get enough helm and enough feel in the boat, so I'll try trimming the main sheet on a little harder. That's going to take some of the twist out. It'll make the top of the main come up even further to windward. And I can actually just stall that upper telltale, just get it to flicker. And at that point, I've got the flaps down. We're putting as much power into the plan as we can. And if we pull it any harder to get that wonderful feel in the helm, we'll have a danger of actually watching the boat speed drop off and go slower. So now it's the trade-off between feeling good and going fast.
Looking good here. Just don't get early.
30 seconds.
In this race, we sailed on a boat none of us had sailed on before. In fact, most of us hadn't sailed together before.
20 seconds. Take down.
Trim. We're late.
Yep, a little late.
16.
Good. Pete.
10. 10 coming up now.
Got it. Good speed, Tom. Good speed. Don't put the bell up.
5.
Move forward, wait.
2 seconds. Just trim.
Feel a little fine there.
Much more runner on, Hans. Just a click.
Still need speed.
That's good. Main's big and full now.
We practiced a little before the start, and actually we got our sails looking real nice, but we came off the starting line and didn't have enough speed.
This guy is still a little faster. Needs some backstay.
Same speed, but he can't. A little too much?
Okay, you're doing all right now. You're holding this guy.
As soon as you're up,
Okay, took the backstay up to flatten this jib out a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Mike, we'll put a little bit of running back.
Okay, you're holding this guy to leeward, Tom. You're a little higher, but not quite as fast.
If you want to tack and go, we can do it. But just stick it up pretty good because we want to be sure we can
Keep
tack.
the
We're
depth
just tacking now.
Okay, tacking, guys.
Big and deep.
Everybody ready? Make a good one.
Here we go.
Don't trim too hard.
Hold there, hold there. You got it. You're going faster and lower than all these guys around you.
Okay.
peeking out below still.
We get 6 knots steady, Tom, then we'll just make things a little flatter.
Okay, let's start pointing
Shift
in.
into-
Little pop. Jib
Nice
coming
job
in.
here,
Shift into
guys.
third gear, here we go.
You got full power on, right, Gary?
Yeah, full power on.
I'm easing a little bit on the backstay. Now the main look
Okay.
better.
Gary, hook me in on what speed I should be going here.
I think about 6 knots is about right. Might even be a shade fast.
Well, our little North Sails manual says 6.2.
I think the wind speed is very optimistic here, though, guys. We're rolling all these guys to leeward.
Okay. Jib's always a little thin compared to the main, so.
Yeah, let's power off just a touch here now. We're 5.7. That's a little slow.
He's sticking up.
I don't get the feeling we're going real fast.
No.
The point is that we actually started tinkering and adjusting things and really got the boat going as fast as everybody else was going. But it took us some time and it took quite a bit of adjusting. And frankly, it didn't always come from things that we thought looked right.
Just flatten out the front end, or are you happy?
Feels like we need all the punch we got, huh, Tom?
Yeah.
What's it feel like? Feels
awful.
to me.
I got a tiller, but nothing's here.
Yeah, here's some pop.
Traveler going
Just
down?
travel
Don't need much.
Getting up to windward
Get us
here?
going.
Maybe a little bit of
Okay.
weather to get more feel for him on the ground.
Good breeze up ahead. These guys have nice
Oh.
right-handed shift up ahead, too. There's more velocity coming, too. Now
Okay,
we're rolling. Backstay's coming up. Flatten the jib. It's tough. Okay,
Up here, traveler
go.
down. Okay.
Trim the jib a little bit, and you're rolling them like this. This is good.
Speed's going up. That's the right thing
You're
to
going
do.
to hose them out of here. You can probably put a little point in it. We're sagging down to them in a hurry right now.
Okay.
We're in a little bit of a duel here with these guys.
Duel in the sun.
Duel in the sun. Here we go. Uh-oh.
This is
We're
that,
sagging to him just a touch.
Okay.
You're matching his speed, though, right, Gary?
Yeah?
I don't see that.
No, he's going a little faster.
We just are up about 10 to 15 from our lowest.
Don't want to have to tack now, Tom, so hang,
Yeah.
man.
I got to learn to live here.
Boy, he sure got up here in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be me a little bit. I'm not really used to this.
Use more weight forward.
I've got your boom up on center line, Tom, maybe above it, just to stay up here.
Nice job. Got enough round in the leech, Tommy?
Yeah.
This is definitely a pointing contest here.
Well, it looks good. Do you have enough helm to keep you up?
These guys are hiking harder than us, guys.
Yeah, you guys got a hike.
Bonus hike.
Bonus hike.
Probably
Full
for the
front
light
draft.
air that we were sailing in, we actually had the sails a little underpowered. We pulled a little hard on the halyard. We probably had the backstay a little too tight. We probably hiked the boat down a little flat with the crew. Maybe we were trimmed in a little too hard.
Got it. Go ahead. I don't think it's a problem.
A little more runner on, Hans.
Man, these guys did well on the left.
I did?
Yep. Is that our class? Yeah, it's our class.
Is that our class? I don't like the sounds of that. I think what we learned is that the boat isn't that easily driven in light air. You actually had to let the sails breathe a little bit, or not try to sail too high, and actually let them get a little fuller than what we thought was right in the first place.
Let's go now, Tom.
Okay, ready about? Afraid of falling into these guys. Okay, tacking.
Here you go.
We got it. Ready?
All right. Go, Mike. Okay, good. Got it. Thanks.
Jib's coming in awful fast. Or my main's too far out.
Hike hard, guys. Hike.
Big hike.
10 degrees heel, that's all we want to see. How's your helm there, Tom?
Real nice. Just about right. I think it's less than 4 degrees, and you don't ever want more than 4, right?
Tom and myself were continually talking back and forth on how the helm felt during this process.
More speed.
When my helm felt very mushy or very light, Tom would power the main up as well by easing the Cunningham, pulling on the runner a touch, trimming the sheet a hair, and just rounding up the leech a bit. Usually this interaction between the trimmers would allow my helm to come back a little bit and allow us to point as high as possible.
I got the threads crying in the back now, Hans. I got the bleach pressure. You want me to stall the top?
Those better.
Yeah. Trim the hell out of those.
Those better.
Oh, man.
Better all the time. Tom, I think since you've trimmed the main, we can point higher, and I think maybe our mistake's been that we've been trying to sail too low here.
Okay.
Most unique about trimming a Genoa is that it provides most of the boat's driving force upwind, particularly on a masthead boat like this. The Genoa trimmer, therefore, must be pretty attentive. The boats I sail on, the Genoa trimmer typically sits down to leeward and plays with the Genoa till he's perfectly happy with its setup. But the Genoa, unlike the main, is out of sight and out of mind, so he doesn't get much help from the rest of the crew. The trimmer has to be pretty attentive. Also, the Genoa has to sail through about a 10-knot wind range, unlike the main that's up all the time. The ideal situation is when we can figure out ways to flatten it and make it deeper through varying wind conditions. That's the part of the job that the Genoa trimmer needs to be the most attentive to. Because the Genoa itself is the largest speed producer on the boat, the Genoa trimmer must be really on top of his sail trim and his coordination with the helmsman. Most Genoa trimmers that I sail with use the speedometer as a gauge. If they see the speed going up, they usually trim in a little bit and ask the helmsman to come up to respond. If they see the speed going down, they'll crack the sheet a bit and tell the main sheet trimmer to crack as well and tell the helmsman to come on down a little bit to build speed. Our Genoa trimmer, Gary Weismann, will begin by introducing all the Genoa controls.
I look at this sheet as being the primary control that I use to work the Genoa. The sheet is kind of like a throttle. It's going to determine the power that I allow the Genoa to have. It'll put curvature in the sail, it'll change the angle of attack of the Genoa, and control the twist. The first of the secondary controls is the lead adjuster. This boat has a movable traveler car for this lead adjuster. As I roll the lead forward, the leech of the Genoa will become more closed and the telltales will break down low in the sail. This might be the type of setting we'd use in lighter air or when we're trying to generate maximum power. Likewise, when the lead is further aft on a given sail, the leech will open up, appearing more twisted. The telltales will break high first, and the sail will be somewhat less powerful. We might use a setting like this in strong winds or at the upper end of a sail's given range when we're trying to slightly depower. Another control I have available to use is the backstay adjuster. In this boat, it's operated with a hydraulic pump. And when I tighten the backstay, in turn, it straightens the headstay. A straighter headstay will promote a flatter overall Genoa shape, straighten out the angle of entry on the luff of the sail, and make for a higher pointing, less powerful sail. Conversely, using the backstay, we'll put more headstay sag and make the sail fuller and a slightly curvier entry. In concert with the backstay adjuster, it's usually necessary to adjust the halyard as well. The halyard controls draft position. By tightening the halyard, you'll see a more draft forward shape. The sail will have a slightly rounder entry. This might be the way we'd set the Genoa up for lumpy water where we need to go low and fast. Likewise, a slack Genoa halyard will let the draft move aft, and the sail will be slightly faster for high pointing conditions such as what would be necessary in smooth water. Later, when we're sailing, I'll demonstrate to you how these controls affect sail trim. Normally we start by trimming the Genoa in to a point where we think it's approximately correct, and then check the lead for fore and aft position. And I'm going to roll the lead forward here slightly so that the sail will break evenly vertically up and down the luff of the sail. We have telltales at various locations vertically spaced, and if the top telltales are luffing first, then we roll the lead forward, and if the bottom telltales are luffing first, then we let the lead move aft. Once we get these telltales all breaking at about the same time, we tend to trim the sail on the middle telltales most of the time because sometimes the wind will act with a little bit of variance from top to bottom, and the best indication will be the middle telltales for general trim. Okay, now that we've got the fore and aft lead position where we think it's correct, the foot of the sail is trimming so that it's just touching the shroud base. And likewise, the leech of the sail is trimming very close to the spreader tip, which means the whole sail is trimmed in very close to the rig, which we feel is a proper setting for these conditions. Once I get the fore and aft lead position set correctly, I begin to look at the overall shape of the Genoa. If you really want to get good at this job of trimming the Genoa, you should spend some time during practices up underneath the middle of the foot of the Genoa looking at cross-sectional shapes. By getting a feel for that, you'll be able to do a better job when you're back here at the leech end of the sail. On this boat, we control the fullness of the sail by tensioning the permanent backstay. On a fractional rig boat, we use the running backstays to do the same job. Here I'm going to pump up the permanent backstay, which in turn straightens the headstay, thereby increasing the distance of the span from the leech of the Genoa to the luff. As I make this change, because we're pulling shape out of the front of the sail, the draft in the sail will end up drifting somewhat further aft, and in order to maintain the same draft position fore and aft, I'll have to take up the Genoa halyard as well. Now we've got the Genoa trim somewhat flatter with the draft roughly in the center of the sail and looking very nice for the conditions. These controls are all done in concert with one another through varying wind conditions, and as conditions change, we'll keep adjusting all of them. Likewise, it's important that a healthy dialogue is developed between the Genoa trimmer and the helmsman so that each of them knows what the other one needs for boat speed and also for tactical situations so that you can capitalize on maximum boat speed relative to the boats around you. Could have looked worse, I'll tell you that.
One thing that made this race particularly challenging is the wind was continually changing both in strength and direction.
Here we go, your kind of speed build trim here. I think there's more lift coming too, Tom.
Thank God. One thing that seemed to work during this period of time when we were trying to improve our boat speed was to get Hans sitting on the weather rail talking about what he was seeing happen up the course.
Hans, keep looking up
ahead. It looks to me like this whole thing's settling in with a slight knock.
No, we're okay. You're lower than the front boat now.
Than the green boat.
And the green boat is higher. You're going to get another puff. It's coming into you now.
I got a tiller in my
comes
hand,
up.
but
Yeah, you're coming
When
up.
Hans would call that a light spot was coming, Gary would typically ease his sheet a little, let the halyard down, ease the backstay, and really try to power the jib up as much as he could.
okay, I'm getting excited.
Speed's climbing.
Jib's coming back in with the speed build.
This wind's going back to left a little, but actually that green boat up ahead is well up.
Yeah, he's well out.
Yep.
It's gonna be a...
You're back to target speed.
One of the reasons we
that
came
good?
back,
That's
there's no
good.
breeze in here.
Okay.
And
Got me powered up pretty good there, right, Gary?
Yep.
Okay. This light spot, it's not any
Yeah,
party.
just a little ease for you. Help the sail a little faster.
coming back.
There you go.
The next step was for Gary to turn around and say to Tom McLaughlin, hey, I've let my jib out a little bit and I'm powered up. Why don't you do the same on the
Get
main?
the feeling we're just not pointing as well as some of our boys. If so, I'll
I'm
trim
just
the main
using the
sheet on
backstay
hard.
just to make a little more powerful jib because we're going through these light spots and trying to keep the power on
Okay,
the rig a
sounds
little
good.
bit more.
Let me know if you have too much helm because I'm trimming the main as hard as I can.
I'd like to point higher and go faster. Any ideas, Hans?
Yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow.
One of the most dramatic changes that we made, ironically, is that we let the halyard down on the Genoa to a point where we would have said it was a little too loose, but it actually made the boat go pretty fast. As we got up near the windward mark, our communication between the crew worked at its best.
Simon,
There's only one boat to worry about now. He's tacked.
Hey guys, ready about?
Yeah.
Hans was talking about what he saw for angles on the other boats, and he actually noticed a little shift going back to the left up near the mark. We were able to foot fast to the left-hand shift and then tack on to port and actually cross 3 or 4 boats.
Okay, wait up, wait up.
go,
wait
go,
up.
go, 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 go.
Gotta cross here.
Okay, we're okay here.
Right there.
Look for traffic now. You're okay. Just keep going.
We pull wizard warfare, guys.
Keep the speed on.
So what really improved our performance here is the whole concept of shifting gears.
Mike, who's on the bow?
Back in.
Back around the mark.
The Spinnaker is different from the main in Genoa in that it's big and powerful. It also provides a huge speed boost off the wind. Unfortunately, the Spinnaker is a little hard to trim because it's unsupported on all its edges, so it distorts into 1,000 different shapes. The good news is you can gain a huge advantage off the wind by trimming it correctly, and the bad news is you can lose a lot by trimming it incorrectly. So often we see sailors set it, cleat it, and eat their lunch, and this is the exact worst thing to do. Ironically, downwind is where you can make the biggest gains. Also, downwind is an opportunity to make up for earlier losses. The Spinnaker trimmer's main job is to keep it flying at the fastest trim. However, speed depends on constant coordination between the helmsman, the trimmer, and the person on the after guy. A good trimmer is very alert and can help the helmsman feel when the pressure on the Spinnaker is perfect. Typically, he'll say to come up in a light spot and down in a puff. He also must adjust and adapt to the wind, which is constantly shifting. If he doesn't do these things, he will never help the boat reach its maximum speed. Our man on Spinnaker, Hans Fogh, will take you through the Spinnaker controls and the trim procedures.
Before I go out sailing, I like to go over the control myself, and at the same time we can see how they function. We have 3 very important controls. One of them is the Spinnaker sheet, which control the curl in the luff area. Then we have the guy, which control the pole fore and aft. And the last control is the topping lift, which control the outboard end of the pole. There are 3 minor controls, which is the Spinnaker halyard, the trigger line, and the inboard end of the pole. The Spinnaker halyard controls how close we want the spinnaker head to the top of the mast. The trigger lines control the clew height of the spinnaker and the fore and aft position of the clew. And the inboard end controls the height of the pole on the mast. The first thing after we hoist the spinnaker is to see how it flies out, and I'm going to use the sheet to see how the luff curl is. The luff curl is a little bit too far low, and we want to raise the pole to make a flatter entry and a more even luff curls. Can you raise the pole? That's good. I eased a little bit more sheet, and I checked the curl in the luff area to see if it's even from top to bottom. For this part of sailing, we can get the guy a little bit further back. Okay, that feels good. We now have a nice even curl. Sheet a little, Jeff. And the spinnaker now flies very well away from the boat. The next step here is to have a communication between the skipper and the guy trimmer. The goal is to bring the spinnaker forward the boat so it pulls the boat forward, not sideways. Trim a little bit more so we get a little more steady on the spinnaker. That's good. When you bring the spinnaker in front of the boat, you reduce heeling moment. When you put it on the side of the boat, you increase heeling moment. And increasing heeling moment is always slow. Now, Dave, what do you think about the helm at the moment?
Feels good there, Hans.
I'm going to ease it.
You've got a puff coming here in about 5 seconds.
Okay, in the puff, it's important to ease out, open the slot between the main and the spinnaker, and at the same time, we reduce heeling, which also helps the boat to go forward, just like that. The goal is to have the guy as far back as we can do. That will also reduce the helm, and it will definitely go faster through the water. Trim. Now, Dave, are you on course?
I'm a little bit low, Hans.
Normally, when you think you're low, you want to bring the pole forward. This is wrong. You've got to keep the pole at least 2 feet from the headstay. So the only way we had to come up is we had to trim a little harder. So let's trim a little harder. That's good, Jeff. What is your course now, David?
It's good, Hans.
Good. Now, when you sail downwind, the wind is always shifting. So when we have some lows, we're going to come up, and when we have some high puff, we're going to come low. The only way to do that is to have a good relationship together with skipper and the guy trimmer. We're getting a puff coming up here, David, and when the puff comes to the boat, I will ease the spinnaker a little bit, just like that now. We can get the pole a little bit further back. That's good there. So what's your course now, Dave?
It's pretty close. Got one more puff coming, Hans.
Good. You constantly had to work together as a team to develop the best speed with a Spinnaker. A good Spinnaker trimmer, he is alert. You have to ease so you get as biggest curl you think you can have without having it collapsing. Then you get the Spinnaker forward the boat and the slot between the main, and that is fast.
Get it on the other side.
Okay, he's going to have some trouble, Tom.
Trim, hike out, guys.
Big trim, big trim.
When we got to the jibe mark, we were in a position with our sail trim to come out on the new jibe as high as possible. We thought that the next leg would be fairly tight.
Here comes the pressure now. Tom, you let me know.
Okay,
Down a little,
I'm
going
easing
down a
again,
little,
I'm
hey.
easing again, easing
down to
out,
the puff.
easing out, trim. Okay,
Nice job on Rosie to leeward here.
Ooh, good work, guys.
okay, easing
Got
off
one.
again. Just a bit,
Nice hands. What about squaring that just a touch?
square off the pole,
Just a touch.
Yeah, just to keep the helm out of the boat, huh?
do that.
Okay, here it
Trim.
comes.
Nice.
Try that. That help?
Seems a little faster.
How's your helm? I'm easing out a bit.
Perfect. Good helm. Good helm.
Very little current,
The
slack
bone
water.
to get the Spinnaker as far out as forward we can.
Okay. So around this next mark to port, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm easing a bit more, Tom.
Okay, nice hands.
Main's rolling out. You got all your telltales working here for a change.
And off with these
Tom?
guys.
You get ready to go through lee of him?
Sure.
We had actually a very unique thing happen to us during that leg.
Okay.
There was another fleet of boats crossing across our reach path. And we actually came together with a boat that, even
Okay.
though we had rights
Trim,
on,
trim,
was a
trim,
little
trim,
bit bigger
trim.
than us. So we actually had to slow up, luff our spinnaker, take his stern so we could go in the direction that we wanted to go.
Yeah, not fast at that angle.
Okay, that's a way to stop the
Gotta
boat
work
and take
down
a
now.
different position.
Okay, we're happy with this jib for the next beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Good jib. Are you going to take the spinnaker through the forehead?
Mark's still down. We got
Definitely need to get down here a little, Hans, so you just keep talking to me,
Okay. Running is a different ball game. You don't have to worry about heeling moment, and therefore we want to have the Spinnaker flying out in front, steady, well in control, and that is fast. So let's take a look at how the Spinnaker is set right now. The Spinnaker is well set. I don't have to ease the sheet or trim it very much. It sits up there and it's in good control. Let's try to lower the pole and see what happens. Bobby, could you lower the pole? That's good. Now you could see right away that the draft moves forward in the luff and the Spinnaker flying a little bit uneven. It is not as steady as it was before. The crew are way too high. The crew are not flying even. And it isn't good, Trim. So let's raise it up again to the right position. Now that's good. I can ease sheet a little bit, and the sail are now flying even with the crew, and that's good. Let's raise the pole up and see what happens when it's too high. When we raise the pole up too high, the Spinnaker starts flying a little bit uneven. It does break at the top very easily, and it jumps around from side to side. In the rolls, like today we had a little bit of waves, it is harder to steady the Spinnaker. So the pole is definitely too high. It jumps around sheet, and which is not fast. Let us take a look at how the pole goes fore and aft, because the proper trim with the pole there is very important. The best way to figure out how the pole is for going downwind is that it should be 90 degrees to the wind. That is a good reference point. Let us see what happened when we put it too far forward. Sharon, can you let it forward? The spinnaker now disappears almost down by the lee, and it goes forth and back. It is rolling the boat. So let's bring it back again to the normal position. That's a good position now. We had about 90 degrees to the wind. So let's try to bring it too far aft. As soon as we get the pole far aft, we start flattening the spinnaker at the bottom. And it is not good for running. It is okay when it blows really hard. It steadies the spinnaker. It flattens the bottom. But for wind about today, 10 to 12 knots, we need more draft at the bottom. Makes it a little bit rounder. And therefore, let us bring the pole forward approximately 90 degrees to the wind. This is a very good setting. For really heavy air running, when you're out of control, let's look at some key points to how to keep the boat in control and help the skipper to sail it properly. First of all, you can oversheet the spinnaker a little bit than normally running because it steadies the boats down. If you really see a hard puff, then you can put the pole further back and trim the spinnaker hard. And that is like making the distance longer between the two clews, which definitely flatten the sail. And that really helped us to steady down the sail. At the same time, you have one more control. We can help you steady the spinnaker. If your boat is equipped with a tweaker line helps to keep down the sheet to fly lower and keep the boat from rolling. That is good to put it on, but it's not good for reaching, only on running. In very heavy air and high sea condition, sometimes we get the boat in a bad rolling moment. And when we start to see the boat rolling so badly that the pole are getting close to the water, it's time to do something about it. The first thing you do is never let the guy go forward. Keep the guy cleated. Instead, the trimmer should sheet in as fast as he can do to flatten the sail out, and that will steady the spinnaker. And you will see the boat will be easier to steer, and therefore you will have less rolling. You can also stop rolling by using the lazy guy or a tweaker line to sheet down more on the clew. In heavy air, we do have this often happen to us that you have a broach. How do we get out of the broach? There is some key points which I like to help you a little bit about. First of all, everybody feels scared. Don't be scared. But think about what you have to do to get the boat back quickly. Never ever let the guy go. Keep the guy cleated. And when you are in the broach, you ease sheet a lot until the boat is back on its sailing direction. Then you start trimming again. If you trim too soon, then the boat will broach again, and that is a bad point. So wait till the boat is back on its feet and in the sailing direction, then you start trimming again. But the key point is never let your guy go. Keep it cleated, well back, because we want the spinnaker out in front of the boat to help us let it come back again. It is a teamwork which really helps us to create the maximum speed which you can get out of those sails. They're so big and so powerful. With the right trimming, they're great to sail with.
Here's a nice puff, Hans. Let's work down a little bit.
Boat coming back a little, Hans.
How's How's it feel there?
Good there.
Good pressure?
Good pressure now, yeah.
Keep talking to me on the pressure.
Okay, I have good pressure.
Right?
Pull right.
Little light now.
Pull
Coming
going
up.
forward and touch your
Pull
hand.
forward.
Okay.
By this point in the race, we were starting to feel pretty confident about our speed.
Okay. How's this angle?
Angle is good there. I like
Okay.
that. The angle is fine.
Got a little speed build going now.
Pull coming back again, Hans.
There's good pressure now. Very good pressure.
Okay, you want me to go a little bit lower?
Yeah.
You got your fork on here. Okay, good.
Come down a bit.
Okay, I'm a little too high, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Here we go. Trim a bit. Good. Stop.
We went down the run pretty even in speed with most of the other boats.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Especially when you're
Feels
bow
good.
up.
Good.
Good pressure on the
Let me know when I
Spinnaker
can
now.
come down.
Come
Still
down
a
in.
little bit slow though, I think.
Okay,
Let
get
me
the
build
speed
some
up.
speed and then I'll go down.
Yeah. Okay.
Speed's
Trim.
coming now in a hurry.
Good.
Okay, good speed there. You want me to come down a little
Yeah,
bit?
good pressure on the Spinnaker right now.
Okay.
Come
here
down.
we go.
I'm easing out.
Pull's coming back.
Come down a bit more if you like.
Okay, thank you.
We actually tried shifting sides with a couple of boats and actually tried sailing lower and then higher and kept tinkering with the set of the
We're just
Spinnaker
gaining.
to try to improve our
Easing out.
performance.
Still a little bit worried about keeping my wing clear here, so.
With a good clear air here, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going good now, guys, since the wind came up a little bit.
Yeah.
That looks better with a pole up, Hans.
Yeah.
Opened up the leeches a little on the top and gave us a
Yeah.
little more projected area, right?
The two clews are flying very even now,
Okay.
which is good. Always a good trim.
Think the main's okay, Tom?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, let's get the outhaul out. Main hired up. Start thinking about setting the boat up for going upwind here, guys.
Backstay.
Backstay up.
Am I too low here, Hans, or is it about right?
It's a good course. Good. Is it up?
I need this wind to go right.
Okay, let's just get one little wave here, Tom.
Good there.
I'm trying
That
to.
Toscana thing here. Is he coming into this
Hey, more broom bang on, Steve.
That's a scary concept right there. How am I supposed to get across?
We'll cross.
We're crossing right now.
Zip in, guys.
Here you go. Okay, turn.
Hike out, guys. Hike out.
A lot of weight up, guys. Come on, hit the rail. This gun is going in there.
No room!
Hey!
No room!
Get down.
No room!
51 feet of fun coming your way, huh?
Came around the mark, stayed on port tack for a little while, and the boat that we wanted to pass was right ahead of us, and we were getting their bad air.
Clear to tack, please.
So we tacked on to starboard immediately and went to work on trying to get the most speed out of the boat possible.
Guys, here we go. Let's go. Tacking.
The wind had come up at this point in the race to about 13 knots, so we were sailing with our heavy one. We felt real confident in our boat speed, so we thought we had a real good chance of beating this one other boat.
Big hike. Let's blade the main out by using the runner a little more.
Okay.
That's the way. Now it's flatter. How's that feel now, Tom? Less helm?
Nice.
Good.
Real good.
Looks bad, feels good.
Here we go.
Jib's starting to trash the main out because we're at the top end of this jib right now. So lead's back right now. It's
Okay.
twisted some.
Sounds good.
Got the leech open a bit.
Sounds
and we
good.
actually have good boat speed right now. We're working sky high over pretty well.
Working them over.
Yep. You're
not
gonna let the thing breathe a little bit in this condition because we're slightly overpowered.
We are going out in there.
Yeah. We're going well.
Two helm up here.
No, it's perfect.
Perfect. That helm and chest or what?
Helm's perfect.
Notice your knuckles turning white there. I thought you might have had too much.
Looks to me like the left-hand end of the line is favored.
Great.
Go, 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 go.
When we came together, we actually had to duck the boat that was on starboard.
Hold it on sky high.
Gary, just to shoot.
We were going so fast when the two boats came together, there never would have been a chance that he could have tacked on our wind and actually made it stick.
Okay, shooting, guys.
Shooting.
Nice job.
And we ended up just eking him out at the finish line with a shoot.
Big sky high.
Nice job.
Good job, you guys. Way to go. Nice race. Good ending. I've spent a lot of my life as a sailmaker trying to figure out how to make a boat go a 1/2 of a knot faster. The trouble is, the requirements of sail trim are always changing. To accommodate these changes, you constantly adjust your sail trim and continually shift gears.
We're coming on these guys the whole race. You gotta love it. Now you just gotta work on that first half of the first beat, Tom.
When we find how to sheet the sails, we're okay.
Yeah. Learning by doing, Hans.
Tom, Gary, and Hans have demonstrated the importance of teamwork and good communication. Sure, we didn't win the race, but we had a good time and we got a whole lot faster as we went along. Now it's time for you to try it on your own. Remember the basic trim concepts we have explained. If you concentrate on the key priorities we talked about, you'll definitely be able to go faster. Now it's your turn. Good luck and fast sailing.